Hello everyone, this is Amnesia once again, going to be jumping right into another TvT between Whosyourdad and HideRDK or HideRDK. I'm pretty sure it's Hider though. Who knows? But I literally just woke up less than 5 minutes ago. Decided to jump in here and cast some Starbow games. I found this game on Reddit last night and I don't know, so somebody else might have already cast it. I know there's a couple people trying to cast Starbow right now. But the guy said it was a pretty awesome game, and we're gonna get to see a couple of different strategies instead of like the other TvT I casted where both players went for the identical thing for most of the game. And so yeah, you already see a little bit of a difference here. We got a supply depot by the mineral field, and we got a supply depot at the ramp. So I mean, these guys are night and day playing here. We've got nice Valentine's Day colors as well. We've got red versus pink. Reminds me of Valentine's Day. Young love. Because my Valentine. No, I'm not gonna say that because my girlfriend. I was gonna say my Valentine with this Starbow, but then I was like, my girlfriend watches it, she'll be mad. So I'm not gonna say that. But I'm sure Starbow is a lot of people's Valentines, and that's great. So both players going for some early gas, get some tech up, one base play. I'd be pretty shocked if somebody went for command center first, but it wouldn't be the first time. So at least we're gonna get to see some action early on. We're not gonna see like a turtle fest between the two players. Nice little kiss there. Everybody's in love. This music's so good. I never really listen to the StarCraft 2 music except when I'm casting, so I'm always pretty impressed by it when I hear it. And I think I have Brood War music turned on too. I have them both set to both play. Only DK though. Looks like HideRDK getting ready for an expansion already. He's gonna try to move out of the way so that Whosyourdad doesn't know and start harassing it. There we go. Command center coming down in just a minute. We got a Reaper on the way from Hider as well. And I gotta say, I've said it before, but I think Reapers are one of the most underused units in this game right now. They're so good with their C4 charge. I think the C4 charge is nerfed a little bit, so that it doesn't deal as much damage to buildings, but it's still so good. You get a couple of Reapers, and it's so hard to deny. They do so much damage, and they throw their C4 down, and then you're like, can't really engage them because you don't want to walk past the C4. It's pretty sick if you've got the APMs for it. Looks like Whosyourdad knows what's up though. He's getting Marines to line his base, but the Reaper a little bit indecisive there. I thought he wanted to engage the Marine, but then he decided no, he didn't. Oh my gosh! That Reaper did nowhere near as much as it was supposed to. Hider a little bit upset there. That was pretty insane there. That Reaper was pretty close to useless. This one gonna jump up right into two Marines there, and he's gonna try to run away. There he goes. Picks off the wounded Marine. A little bit of vengeance there. Good for him. Is he going to be able to escape without getting another shot? Looks like he is, and his combat drug should kick in here any second. Oh no, he jumps back up into a Marine, and he gets taken out too. Wow. Just throwing away these Reapers, that's not good. But he is coming up with a secondary plan. We've got barrel stabilizers here. I'm going to increase the attack range of Marines and Marauders, which means Marauders are going to have some sick nasty range. And in TvT, it's nice to have that little range advantage. You get an extra volley off when doing a straight up A move engagement, and then you can do some cutesy little micro too if you're up on it. We do have spider mines being researched right now for Whosyourdad, as well as a dropship on the way. So we might see some vulture drops, some annoying little spider mine fields in the base of Hider. Who knows? Nice little scan going down there. Gonna see the dropship emerge. He's gonna see that the tech lab's researching. Gonna see. Even loads up the two vultures right there during the scan, so Hider should know exactly what's going to come up. He's got his workers. He's going to have to protect those. He knows that those are target number one. You can see he's going to move his Marauders with some medics back towards his main command center, just to make sure that that stays safe when these dropships move across the field. He's pulling these Marauders back home to his natural. He's going to put some bunkers down, and I think he's going to be in great shape here. Both players scouting really well and knowing exactly what to expect. And I just love seeing that. You know, you don't see like some sort of harass just go unchecked and uncontested for a long time. You see that people are prepared for it, and it really makes you have to micro, because this guy's gonna fly in there, and if he's not careful, well, I guess nothing shoots up. He only a marine. So, but yeah, there we go. Unloading the vultures. Looks like he's gonna go for it anyway. A couple of marines unloading. He's got the spider mines down. He's gonna back up, try to kite them across. One marine gets taken out. The vultures are being microed there, and just putting down spider mine fields in a couple of different places here. So Hyder has to be careful where he engages. Spider mine pops up. Do they not re-burrow in Starbow? That's interesting. I thought they would re-burrow after a couple of seconds. CN going down to be able to clean up this minefield, which means the vultures are going to have to engage to distract the shots from the spider mines. But Hyder pretty good at focusing down what he needs to. He's scaring away. Oh, nice little spider mine connections there. This marauder getting pretty low on health. Last spider mine gets cleaned up. I think no, they don't have any more spider mines left. He must have dropped some at home as well, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just making stuff up right now. There we go. Not able to do nearly as much as he would have hoped with that drop. Now he's going to drop a vulture and a tank. We'll see what he's able to do. This map doesn't have any of like the couple of maps have like Andromeda. I know has like one little spot, and then what's the name of the other one? The 3-player map. It has the helipad you can land on for like doing a good siege harass. But this map doesn't really have any of that. They've got, you can land right here maybe and hopefully get a shot or two off, but against all these marauders, that's going to be interesting how those fare against tanks. I haven't really seen a TvT where one player went bio, one went mech, and I wasn't able to see how the Starbow marauders deal with the Starbow tanks. But luckily it looks like my curiosity will soon be sated. And we've got a ghost here. Ghosts are so good right now. Look at this shock round. Launches a shock round at the targeted area, suppressing mechanical units' attack and reducing their movement speed by 75%. So that means they slowly regain their speed back, but basically that means that any mechanical units, which is basically everything that Whosyourdad has, because he's going mech, they won't be able to shoot for 6 whole seconds. That's a lot of time, you know, especially when bio stims and they just walk in there. So these units not going to be able to shoot if the shock rounds go off properly. These units they're going to be worthless, and they're not going to be able to run away either because they're moving super slow. And I mean, I can't imagine a nice little tank drop there in the back of the base though, getting a lot of SCVs. But I think the Ghost Shock Charge will get nerfed eventually. Oh my gosh, trying to engage these units with the SCVs, losing so many more than he had to. 11 workers killed so far. This tank doing so much more, I think, than Whosyourdad expected it to. These SCVs forced to sit down over here and just wait for some units to come out of the barracks that can help them out here. There we go, a nice little stem, but they're being funneled and they can't get through the SCVs. The SCVs pulling back. They were going to be meat shields, but against tanks. Oh, nice. Big connections there. Spider Mine and tank going off. But it looks like the tank will eventually get taken out here by the SCVs. He doesn't have the upgrade to pick up siege tanks. So the siege tank almost took enough damage to be dead, but he didn't. He got picked up just in time there. Now we've got a really low tank in this medevac here. You can see all red there. Vulture's gonna move out and try to bait him in here, but this ghost. Wait, did the ghost get taken out, or did the ghost run home? No, the ghost must have died. That completely changes this. There's no way this push is gonna. Oh, there's no like. I was hoping I had like the game heart units lost thing up here, but it doesn't. But yeah, so that totally changes this push. There's no way this push can push in there without the shock charge available. Ah, man, I can't believe I missed how that was taken out. I'm kind of upset at myself. Another ghost is on the way though. He's got his shock charge on the way. What else do they have? Seeker drone. So it has the Seeker missile upgrade. Ghosts are fucking crazy. They're like super strong. This vulture gonna fly in here, trying to go straight up the ramp. Is gonna get taken out before doing much. Ooh, takes out one SCV, takes out 2 SCVs, and then goes for the command center. And excuse me just a minute, I have to sneeze. I'm trying to find the mute button. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, so now we've got this nice little drop set up here. It's going to be 2 medevacs. Not totally full, but Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't use this medevac to pick up those 2 vultures. That would have been pretty dope. Scan's going down, trying to find the location of each other. Not sure whose scan this is, but it's not going to see anything regardless. Hider's scanning down here, make sure that Who's Your Dad didn't take the island 3rd. But now the Bioforce of HideRDK is moving in here. It's got 1 dropship that it'll be able to drop into the main. Cause a little bit of trouble, but as long as they can get past these missile turrets, pretty heavy missile turret placement over here. Oh, the big drop has commenced here in HideRDK's main. HideRDK having such a hard time holding this main here. This is a hazardous zone to be in SCV. Vulture's picking off some Marines in the front there. Vulture's doing as much as they can here. And pulling back there, this SCV should start repairing pretty soon. The Spider Mines making their connections. Shock charge goes down though. This tank and this Vulture completely useless. He didn't have a second charge to fire down, but Who's Your Dad gonna try to move across the map now? And this Bioforce gonna catch the tanks out of position, completely on siege. This drop is not gonna get cleaned up at this time, but the tanks all are. The shock charge going down, making sure that these remain useless. All that's left is a group of vultures running into the natural here, which will get a ton of SCV kills. But meanwhile, Who's Your Dad has to figure out how to stop this. And bio push from HideRDK, slowly cleaning up all these mines because there's nothing to distract their shots there. They're just able to shoot them as soon as they pop up. This tank gonna have to get in position here. Ghost still on the field though, able to fire these shock charges as soon as tanks get in position. The Vulture's doing so much damage back in HideRDK's main. Even a tank sieging up on the low ground here, doing quite a bit of damage. It looks like it will finally get taken out though. The Marauder jumps inside of his bunker, and that will be really hard for Who's Your Dad to deal with this Bioforce. Pushing here, going to actually take out the natural command center of Who's Your Dad. And this is looking really grim now for Who's Your Dad. He's going to have to hold a really miraculous high ground defense here. We've got Vultures, we've got Goliaths, and a couple of Spider Mines going down, but will it be enough? There's way too many units right now, but they all are pretty low on health. If he can get a couple of good shots off on there and micro it just right, he should be just fine. The drop, or the pressure in Hyder space completely cleaned up at this point. He's able to get his workers back to mining, and what few he has left anyway. And looks like these workers will get saved. Just the right engagement, shock charge going down and disabling a couple of units here. But all these units are so low on health, it should be just a matter of time before it's cleaned up, and there are quite a few SCVs still remaining for Who's Your Dad. Oh, nice Spider Mine connection there. Nice little shock charge. I'm not sure, are SCVs are biological and mechanical. So looks like they get disabled, they can't attack. And this Goliath actually blocking the siege tank from getting repaired there, which could have gone a little worse. I guess I should bring back up the production tab. Don't know how long ago I closed that, but that's, oh, I bet I did it when I was trying to find the units lost tab. Who's Your Dad dropping over here? Looks like he was worried about a base race scenario and wanted to make sure he had some units over here to do some craziness. Oh, he's gonna start repairing. Oh yeah, that makes sense too. Big old drop here coming in from the dropship. Normally this would not be a huge drop for this time of the game, but since everything was essentially reset, this is a pretty big deal. 4 tanks in position. Will they be enough to deal with this? It looks like Hyder thinks they will be. But now he's going to boost right in here. He's going to go straight for the worker line. He's got to even out this worker count. And he starts unloading this Goliath, working all by himself to try to focus down the dropship. But he's not able to do the damage he needs, and he's forced to retreat a couple of the siege tanks, unsieging so they can get over there to defend him. Scan going down, I'm assuming by Hyder, so that he can see what's coming his way and how long he has to stay there. Siege tank slowly creeping up. Missile turret does take out the dropship, so these units are here to stay. They're going to start trying to pick off some missile turrets, so the future drops will be a little bit easier to get in here. And Who's Your Dad's army is just a little bit too slow. The siege tank in the way, completely blocking off these units from getting over there. So these units are kind of funneling over to fight Hyder, but eventually it is going to be enough. And Who's Your Dad dropping once more. We've got 3 vultures doing quite a bit of damage. He's taking care of all this work that Hyder's done to catch his economy back up. And the vultures will get taken out. It looks like a scan going down to see the mines, and doesn't look like any of the mines will connect. Ghost up all cloaked, which is going to be really hard to deal with when you've got that much DPS, plus you can't see half the units. That's never a good sign. The SCV was left behind to die here in the corner. Didn't even go out like a man. That's unfortunate. That's what his children will be told. They'll be told that he was dropped behind enemy lines and then cried about it. Tragic story that they should make a movie about. Anyway, guess don't need to, but yeah, he's gonna go ahead and transfer a few SCVs here to try to even this out. We see this base is not nearly saturated enough, but not a lot of minerals left in this base at all. He's going to want to expand here shortly if he can afford to do so. It's kind of risky to do when you've got this close of a fight unit-wise. You know, he's got to be cautious about leaving his main base. But he does have tanks nicely spread out across the map. He's got, well, not across the map, but across his base. He's got one up on the high ground here, which will cover some of the ground down here. And this one will cover... Range is so big on these things now. But yeah, you can vaguely see the line here. So it's going to cover about half the mineral field there. A little over half, actually. But Scan going down, seeing if he can fit this drop in there. Obviously he cannot. There's nothing but a missile turret wall, so he's got to find another vulnerable spot. The Vulture is completely flying past this dropship, though. Will they catch this army off guard? I kind of hope not, because these ghosts will shock charge them, and that will be a huge loss for Whosyourdad. But Scan's going down all over the place. He's going to try to see where he can drop exactly, and it looks like he's going to pick behind this mineral field. This tank should be in range of some of the units, but no, they're standing just outside of the range here. You can see the range barely. There we go. Big shot going off. And the dropship's going to pick a couple up and get them out of there. Nice. I like that little splash the gun makes when it falls in the water there. That's cute. And it looks like there was a little bit of an engagement down here. I'm not sure if the Vultures got in on it or not. The Vulture's going to try to squeeze by right now. And it looks like they will, but a Marine Marauder force just popping out of the barracks is going to be able to see this. And only one Spider-Man going down. I'm assuming that's all that was left. Picking off a couple of SCVs, but he's going to have to do a lot more damage to make all these Vultures worth that. A couple of Marauders and Marines moving back to the mineral line. He has to focus fire these SCVs down. And a couple of the SCVs even getting in on the fight. And the Vultures is getting picked off one by one. Only 3 remain. And 2 remain. And they're going to try to slide out of here, but I just don't see that happening. There's such a huge bioforce in Hydra's base right now. At the very least, though, he did slow down any pressure that was going to come his way. Whosyourdad, that is. And let's take a look at the units lost. Workers killed right now is 65 to 23. So Whosyourdad doing absolutely incredible harass. HideRDK not actually doing that bad a harass either. I would not want to lose those 23 workers there. Definitely quite a large number. It just doesn't look like it when you compare it to Whosyourdad's worker killed count. At resources lost, we see it's pretty much even. The bio exchanging with the mech units here pretty cost efficiently. So everything does even out. Taking a look at the income, we see 29 workers to 24. Again, pretty even. And it's pretty crazy how evenly matched this is going, with both players going for completely different strategies. The shock charge is blanketing the whole army. All of these tanks are completely useless. They're going to have to try to get out of there. But no, it looks like they're going to try to engage. The shock charge finally wearing off of some of the units. And he's pulling them back, so this siege tank doing quite a huge amount of damage. The SCV is getting pulled off the line to try to defend this. The Vulture is returning, and it will get cleaned up. Really nicely handled. Really nice shock charges. But Whosyourdad looks like he has some experience in dealing with these. And meanwhile, he's got this nice little minefield right outside of Hydra's base here. Looks like Hydra, when he moves across, so he usually walks up around this side. So we'll see if this minefield actually comes into play or not. That's quite a few mines. If that goes undetected, that could do huge amounts of damage. Vulture's moving back across the field here. They have 8 mines between them to place here, so he could try to contain a little bit more. He could try to put these in the base, but I don't think he's really going to get into the base right now. Bio 2 ready for that, but this dropship going to get repaired, and then he is going to drop inside of the base here. Got another group of Vultures down here. Whosyourdad doing some really nice, setting up for some really nice multitasking. Scan goes down on the mines, and Hydra's going to try to move out to clean these up. Siege Tank's going to siege up and try to stop this from happening. The Vulture's going to kite the units back, try to kite them through the minefield. Siege Tank's moving up a little bit closer. The scan does reveal all the units that are there, so Hydra looks like he's just going to try to walk around it and go for a counterattack. Not sure this is the best idea. A lot of his units are really low on health, and the Vulture's able to move into the main here, or into the natural, and start cleaning up some workers again. This drop should be commencing in just a minute. There we go. And now the Bioforce is going to try to move back and maybe try to get a flank now that he sees that he can't engage this base right now. Drop going to move in here. There is nothing back in the main to stop this. A couple of ghosts might have to turn around and fire the shock charge down there, but the Vulture is going to do huge amounts of damage. Big engagement over here, though. The tank's getting all cleaned up. Ghosts playing what part they can. This ghost will get taken out. Goat. That'd be a sad unit name. But the mech force does get cleaned up. We've still got the Vulture harass going on, though, which is slowly getting cleaned up. One Vulture is picked up to fight another day. But the worker killed count going up to 69 now for Who's Your Dad. Absolutely insane amounts of damage. Both players stuck on 2 bases for almost a half an hour now. Third base is placed down now by Who's Your Dad, but it's not quite working yet. We've got mech forces moving out to try to secure this base. This base is so far by ground from your other bases. It takes, when you're playing mech, you've got to get a nice, you usually want to have a really big siege tank count so that you can defend all your entrances. But right now he's going to have to make do with what he has. He's kind of just picking a middle ground here. These are more protecting his natural than his third, but they can transfer over fairly quickly. He just has to keep tabs on where Hyder's army is so he can prepare for any incoming attacks. This Marine going to come out here and scout this and see that this base is up. He's going to get blown to bits. There's his arm flopping around there. So sad. But Hyder's army going to move out here. The Ghost's moving so fast. They've got, those guys work out. They've got some cardio. They have a lot of cardio days. And both players posturing up here. I think this scan might have been Who's Your Dad. I kind of wish they were colored so you knew. But defense matrix going down on the Marauder. Very cute. Not quite enough though. He's trying to cut out some of the spider mines. Shock charge going down on some of these tanks. Not nearly enough though. The tank spread pretty nice. And these units are just running into a meat grinder here. Definitely not able to do the damage that he had wanted. Nice defense matrix going down though. And Hyder is just going to end up having to match this base count. Unfortunately, he hasn't even started another command center, so he's going to start that eventually. Some SCV somewhere is being very lazy. It's like, I'll get to it eventually. Where is this SCV? There we go. No, he's going for the barracks. This SCV, all the way up here, has to come all the way back down here to build this command center. It's pretty crazy. But 3 vultures going to move in for another harassment. Again, units not in position. Hyder just not learning from this at all. But the missile turrets at least are going to be able to take out this dropship. It looks like barely surviving there. 3 health. It's going to be hard to make an escape with that medevac. SCV's thinking they might want to turn around and engage, but then they decide they better not. Spider mines pop up to engage the medic that accidentally ran out of range there. And the unit's just not engaging the vultures, but the vultures are engaging the SCVs. We have a science vessel out now for Hyder, which may be able to do some really crazy things. I'm not sure. I mean, the science vessel doesn't have defense matrix anymore, so what does a nerve jammer do? Okay, so it's like Sentry's guardian shield, but it reduces damage by 75%. Last 15 seconds. That's pretty cool. That could actually change the game quite a bit when you're going for bio. Especially you combine that with defense matrix. I wonder like how much damage you'd actually mitigate like that. Defense matrix does. Okay, so it gives you a shield. So you consider that these shields are going to be taking 75% less damage. So they'd essentially be, I don't know. I'm getting two maths here, but 150 hit points. I don't know, 100 hit points if he's used. Oh my god, a nuke going down on these SCVs. Is the ghost gonna get picked off beforehand though? Oh, and he does. The high ground not proving to be nearly effective enough. That would have been absolutely incredible. Oh, I got so excited there for a minute. Small little engagement here. The science vessel gonna want to get out of here pretty quick. The Goliath's already on it. Science vessel down at half health. The Marine's stepping forward to try to save the science vessel there, but the science vessel is going to move right over the Goliaths, and it will get taken out. Bioforce posturing over top here. He's going to try to engage before the tank siege up, picking off a lot of the Goliaths, moving in close to the tanks, but I think you might just want to wait for the tanks to unsiege again, moving in through the tanks, getting the splash damage on there. Defense matrix going down on a wounded Marauder. Really nice save there. Love seeing these medic abilities. And finally the tanks are going to get cleaned up by this group of Marauders. Really nicely done by Hyder there. I thought for sure he was in trouble when all those tanks sieged up, but no, able to control it just perfectly, split up his units just enough to be able to take this force out. So Who's Your Dad still at an economic advantage, but Hyder does have his third base down now. Who's Your Dad going for a fourth base at this point? But unless Who's Your Dad can ever actually kill Hyder, then this economic advantage isn't going to mean jack diddly squat. units lost still pretty identical. Workers, though, definitely favoring Whosyourdad, and if he can keep riding this economic advantage, then eventually these even trades that they're doing in the middle of the map is gonna really secure the game for Whosyourdad. You can see he already has a small worker or supply lead, which might actually mostly be workers. We've got over 10 workers, so yeah, that's pretty much all workers. That so the army's pretty much even. I guess there's an easier way to check that, huh? No, what is it? What is this? You see which tab is it that shows the army supply? It's a control A. There we go. 66 to 60. So Hyder actually has an army advantage at the moment as far as supply is concerned. These vultures sliding right past. They're going to take out a lot of these SCVs. SCVs pulling off the line immediately. A couple of units stimming back. Not stimming his whole army this time, which is really good. Way too many units here to blow that many stims on. A couple of units intercepting this. Ghost cloaking there. Doesn't want to get picked off. It's an expensive unit. This Marine trying to be a hero and save these SCVs. He will be forever remembered in this SCV's heart. But the vultures are eventually picked off. Minefield going down here to stop Hyder from taking that expansion too soon. And Whosyourdad actually putting spider mines at every base to make sure that there's no hidden expansions even, like up here. What are the odds that this is the base that Whosyourdad wants to take? But just in case there's a spider mine down there. They're not keeping tabs on these hidden bases though, that are not hidden, I guess, the island expansions. Kind of curious. I would have thought that those would have been taken by now, but island expansions, you do have to kind of babysit a little bit more. You can't just straight up transfer workers over there. But this Bioforce is going to catch us huge transfer of SCVs, and he may even out the worker count at this point, at least a little bit. There weren't as many workers there as I thought there were, but even still, nice little pickup there. A couple of tanks unsieging to try to get in position for this, but this is not a push that's coming to his natural. This is a push that's coming to his third, which is completely undefended right now. At best, he can try to lock him into this base so that after the base is taken out, he'll have trouble saving all those forces, but really not a big deal. Vultures coming in here trying to do a little bit more damage. These units taking that out, no problem. And this base is forced to evacuate. All the SCVs repairing, hoping that this command center will live, even if they do not. Which it doesn't look like most of them will. And we see that Whosyourdad just going to go for the kill. He's going to go straight for Hyder's third and just try to trade bases that way. Being up a base can't allow you to evenly trade bases. These tanks sieging up, taking out the Bioforce that's there. Only a couple of forces remain, but they are taken out as well. These Marauders going to have to try to be heroes this base, forced to evacuate. Hyder bringing all of his forces back down after he takes out the 4th command center. And he's going to be able to flank some of these units if he can get the right shock charges down. But scans are revealing these ghosts. They aren't going to be able to sneak in there at all. He's going to have to do something to send something forward to absorb some of the shots, and he does. He sends in a Marauder with shock charge, or with Marauder with defense matrix. Shock charge going down on the forward tanks, but not really enough. The back tanks doing quite a bit. Shock charge completely whiffs there, and now we're left with a Marauder and a Ghost, and Whosyourdad in a pretty good spot with these tanks here. Another Bioforce coming in for reinforcements from the south, and he's going to be able to try to set up a surround a little bit on these. Reinforcement vultures flying in right now. These tanks being a little bit abandoned right now, but these vultures will help out. Or not abandoned, stranded, I guess is the word that I was looking for. Taking a look at army supply, we see that Hyder is still a little bit ahead, but there's just not a lot. He doesn't have enough of an advantage to be able to take these siege tanks on. If SCV is going to evacuate. Luckily, spider mines do not activate on workers, or this would be absolutely horrifying. Ooh, this dropship with the one Marine going to get taken out. Looks like too bad for that Marine. Thought he was safe, but he wasn't. Siege tanks being able to clean up most of that. And the science vessel's trying to get into a nice spot, but one gets taken out. This command center providing vision of the high ground. And the science vessel going to float away to safety. He's noticing that both the expansions that he's trying to take are completely blocked by spider mines. That's a lot of spider mines. Luckily, spider mines also don't detonate when they die when an SCV kills them. Hyder just going to GG out right there, knowing that he can't take an expansion with this huge tank force. Really crazy, exciting game. I love it. I love what Hyder tried to do there. I love what Whosyourdad did do. Really great. Yeah, so I'm really glad I casted this game. Thank you to let me get the name here real quick. So actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it in the description because I don't have the page up for it. But thank you to the player who put this up here. Really awesome game, and I hope to cast more like this in the future. And I'll see you guys next time.